After yesterday's video where I played a little shred thing, I got a question about how to play fast and smooth alternate picking. So fast is sort of the second part of that. Smooth is definitely what we want to get first, right? So I have made a video before about um, alternate picking, and really that first step is to get that single string. I'm actually going to turn the volume all the way down. Get that single string loud, strong, and equal, right? Not fast, but just a good, consistent tone on the down and the up. And that makes it so that the pick is actually pretty rigid, pretty straight. We're not using too much of the pick where it gets stuck in the strings just by doing that. That way, if I start with some downs, I can accent them. If I start with some ups, there we go. I can accent them, right? So that then allows me to then put in some left-hand notes, right? So this is an exercise that I saw Rusty Cooley do a number of years ago, and I just love it because it's so concise and so helpful, right? So I'll put my volume on. I'm on clean channel to demonstrate this. You can do it with distortion and all that, but my stages I recommend for training any kind of technique on the electric guitar is first you want to do it unamplified and get an audible, good, strong sound. Then you want to do it on clean channel, and then you do it on distortion. Okay, so this is what Rusty did. He did a little, just a little 3-note CBA, right, like that. So by going down, up, down, right, and I'm just gonna loop that down, up, right. So this is just on the single string. So I'm going there, but I'm actually doing groups of 3 notes with the left hand, right? And I'm using fingers 4, 3, and 1. So if I'm going down, up, down, the next note is on an up. So if I'm just listening to the top note, it's alternating between down, up, 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 down. And you can take that. I find that just keeping that finger down sort of keeps the hand very tense. So even when Rusty did it, he was lifting the index finger. And the goal isn't to go as fast as possible. The goal is just to keep the alignment, make sure no note gets 2 strokes, right? So as you first start doing this, down, and you're just really paying attention to that stroke that the C note gets, the high finger. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Instead of going for faster and faster and faster, what really helps, and what I did a lot, was just spend some time with consistencies, right? So even if I use the metronome or something, I have it click, click. And this gives me the opportunity to sort of really, as I'm doing it, pay attention to what I'm feeling in the wrist, how much range of motion am I using, is my downstroke, my upstroke proportionate. It allows me to just have some real live data. And that's why I love doing this on clean, because you could hear all the little nuances, right? The up needs to be a little bit more accented. Let me go lighter on the down, harder on the up. Already better. So you're right, it allows you to make the adjustment there and actually get that cleanliness, right? The next thing that I did a lot in my early days was I used a single finger pattern. So I used primarily 1, 2, 4, was it, on frets 7, 8, and 10. And that's where I would do the 3-note per string alignment, right? So I was just as a default a very economy player, and I still have that pretty prevalent in my playing. It's just my number is just easy to do, you know. So alternate picking does take a bit more cognitive work for me. But if I go through it, let's do it with alternate picking, right? I'm gonna just use fingers 1, 2, 4 like this, just all the way up and down, right? You can even 4-2-1, right? But just up and down. And the idea is that it's sort of mimicking what we would do when we play a scale, but I'm actually not playing a scale, so I don't have to worry about changing fingers. I don't have to worry about shifting over a little bit, extending, stretching to match the notes, right? That can always come later. But just for pure technical training, all you want to do is have that consistency and that real perfect synchronization between the right hand and the left hand. So what I want to do is I want to go down for those three, down, up, down, and then up, down, 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 up. So just by having that break, notice I didn't even go for a perpetual. I didn't go do 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 do, right? So one, I'm doing it in groups of three, or you could think about it in six, but I'm doing groups of three because I'm only doing 3 notes per string, right? So just helpful to start there, right? And so now if I just focus on the first stroke, now I know it will alternate. So it'll be down on this string, up on this string, down on this string, up on this string, down, and then up. Okay, so down, up, down, up, down, up. And you can hear each note has the same volume, right? So there's my very first step when I was with the single string, getting that upstroke to be the same intensity as the downstroke. Right, getting my sound. And then if I wanted, let's say I start with a down, I'll go descending from the pinky. Okay, so it's not about speed at first. It's really about that connection, right? That smoothness. But you see how I bring out the accent. I will play the first note that I pick of each string a little harder than I will the rest, right? Just sort of gives me a little bit of a kinesthetic reinforcement of where I am in the pattern as I'm playing faster. So if I'm going, right? And as you do that more and more, you get more and more comfortable with that. It becomes something that you don't have to think about as much. So imagine, right, you're just doing this a little bit now, but imagine that you do this now for a few days in a row, a few weeks in a row. And again, I'm not even being too strict with it. I'm not using a metronome saying I have to be at this speed and then I move up 5 or 10 BPM, right? It's just about you listening and hearing like, okay, that's connected, that's connected. Don't even worry about straight time at first because you can always add that stuff later. But just one step at a time to just get that great connection and get that great feeling where you feel like you're able, I'll even just sort of interject myself here. Easily the biggest challenge with alternate picking for me is accessing an upstroke when I'm ascending. So if I'm going down, up, right? There's a little Paul Gilbert exercise for this one, like B, C, D, and E, the single note there, right? And you can work outside and inside the string picking with this one. Down, so I'll go down, up on the high note, and then down on the low note again. Down, down, up, 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 down. And it just sort of gives you firsthand experience on how to get that outside the string picking, where you're going up on the high string, down on low string, right? You could also do it with some economy picking or inside the string picking, which would actually be economy picking. Right? But the focus is get the notes out clean, get them strong, get them to be legato, not like hammer on pull off legato, but actually connected. So like if I play the D here, I'm holding on to that D as I'm moving my finger here. And there, it doesn't take speed to get the connection. It just takes the precision. So hopefully that insight helps, especially if you're having trouble with a disconnect in your alternate picking. And yes, if you want my help with alternate picking or anything else with guitar playing or music, please feel free to send me a message. Let me know the specific problem that you're encountering, and I'll help you out. Thanks. Be well. Happy and healthy playing.